2020 GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
All right. We just had a terrible series, Maru vs. Stats. We were all excited about it. Ha ha, idiots. All of us. We're dummies. It was really one-sided, but a Terran moved on, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's neat. That means only one thing.
Yeah.
There has to be a counterbalance in the universe.
That's true. There's
The
always a
yin and
yin
yang.
for a yang, a
Yes.
thesis for an artosis.
And so this match is going to be the one.
It definitely could be. soO and INnoVation have kind of a similar style. They're mechanically probably the best players in the world at their races.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, so we should see big armies running into each other. It should be a fun, excellent game. I think that they are both in quite good shape as well.
So we're going to start this off on the map, Nightshade. Do you have one player you think is going to take it here?
soO.
soO?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards soO right now, but I mean, INnoVation just kind of like, he's always pretty deep in tournaments, and then he'll just like win one every now and then. So like, whenever he wins, if you're surprised, you're dumb. Like,
well, he's been so consistent. He really doesn't seem to have any one player I'd say he loses to. I think out of all the players, really his biggest opponent has been himself. We've had plenty of downtime here in Korea for StarCraft 2, so we're going to see how these guys perform in their environment that they're most used to being in, our studio here.
Yeah, especially these two.
Yeah.
These are two of the most successful players of all time.
Two of the biggest
GSL
veterans.
Yeah. soO with 6 GSL finals. I believe that's what INnoVation has as well, right? He has,
4 or 5,
4
right?
championships, and he has a second place to Sulky. Yeah, so maybe one less, but I'm sure soO would trade all his second places for one of those victories.
Right.
Look at this, they got the same glasses on.
Yeah.
And they both stole their glasses from Patience.
Battle of bad eyesight. Let's do it. These are very trendy now in Korea, these glasses.
With the big round ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of looking like
cool look.
Yeah, the hot professor look, you know?
Is that what that is?
I think so.
I need to get me some glasses.
Yeah, man. Our game's ready to go. This is game 1, soO versus INnoVation.
Game start. Africa Freaks, soO. KaiZ Gaming, INnoVation.
All right. But yeah, I'm hoping this is just a good series.
I think it will be. So both these guys, I'd say, and we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but mechanically they're so gifted at StarCraft. I mean, soO, especially, I would actually say both of them, soO and INnoVation, gifted at their engagements on the map. You know, a lot of INnoVation's games, and people joke about him being robotic, but it is really impressive. His pushing against Zerg, the way he splits his army, the way he just is able to keep all these different parts of the game juggled at the same time, and usually out-muscle his opponent. But the same goes for soO. He's really good at counter-attacking. He's good at splitting your attention up and really forcing you to be responsible for every part of the map.
Yeah. His
some of the best mid-game Zerg, I'd say, ever.
He's probably got the best, or amongst the very, very best economy management for Zerg. And his injects are absurd. He has like the most units you can see someone have, basically.
But he's also a Zerg that does not seem to, and granted, you know, we've had plenty of downtime here with StarCraft 2, so we'll see if this has changed. I mean, the meta is constantly evolving, but he was not the Zerg that we knew the most for trying to stretch the game out as long as possible.
Well, he's a virtuous Zerg. He doesn't use spellcasters, and he doesn't get air upgrades. So soO is most definitely a mid-game player.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really important thing to I mean, one of the funniest games I've ever seen is that game where he made like 42 Corruptors that didn't have any attack upgrades and beat like a 3/3 air army. And I'm just like, what are we doing, soO? Like, can you just get like +1? You have so much money. Please. Upgrades mean so much, especially when you have like 42 things firing at once.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's
Well,
just,
especially just +1. You know.
just anything.
So we've got the Roach Warren coming down now.
Oh my god. Oh.
And this is, you know, we've seen this a million times before, but the Reaper's going to stay out here and try to control the creep for the time being. I don't think we're going to have many all-ins here early on. If we do, maybe from soO.
Yeah.
I'd say probably not from INnoVation, though.
Yeah. I mean, INnoVation in the past has done some weird hellback crap, but I don't think we'll see that. I hope not. There's nothing I dislike more than hellbat all-ins. 7
Roaches now being made.
Okay. Okay. Well, he's on 25 drones going 7 Roaches,
8
so I guess
Roaches
you're pretty right about your
we are
assessment here.
Yeah, we are going to see him attack out here. And this is going to possibly end up colliding with the 2 Hellions and the Reaper. But so far, he's doing a really good job of keeping his disguise. The Queens are out, making the appearance that he wants to spread creep. Oh, excuse me, he does want to spread creep, but he's making it look like there's nothing else behind it. Yeah. He's got a Ravager making. He wants to show these at the last possible second.
That's right. Oh, here we go.
Ah!
Aha, I'm coming. Bunker
now notice
starts
he's making drones behind this. A lot of times when we see this type of rush, they do some damage, but they want to drone up and get a healthy economy behind this.
Yeah, right now a Marauder coming out, the 2 bunkers on the way. He's got to stall this out. And beautiful with the Liberator right there. That definitely will make it a little bit slower. He needs that 3rd Ravager to make it worthwhile to step under the Liberator.
Notice the Overlord placed over here so you can actually see the Liberator on the high ground. The Liberator, the only thing sandbagging the push right now.
And here we go.
Here we go. Does he move it fast enough?
Yeah. He knew that this was coming 100%. Like, very good play on both sides right there.
The Liberator sets up again. The Roaches will be able to take out the depot. Stim is halfway complete. Now chipping away at the bunker. Does he just want to turn around here?
He can't break that. He definitely screwed up the build order of INnoVation a little bit, and he kept INnoVation off his back, so those are 2 things. But to be fair, he did this all of 25 drones. Now, Zerk can make drones pretty quickly, so he's already up to 48, but did this do enough, right? I would say that it was on the low end of effective.
Yeah, I think he would have wanted to do a lot more damage out of this. He didn't even get the Liberator, actually.
Yeah, if he had sniped the Liberator, I think we would have seen a lot more damage there, but INnoVation was very smart how he did it, you know?
Whoa.
That was cool.
That was crazy.
JYP knows things.
The bile just went through the camera there.
Yeah. Like, lava! I knew I was going to die like this!
Suddenly we had Minecraft lava on the screen. Well, things are going to be quieting down, at least for a little bit. He's going to send the Liberator out here. It appears that already soO's ready for this. Oh, wow, and a counterattack coming up here. Now, the angling here with these Hellions is doing a lot of damage. Wow, it completely destroys that army.
I like that. I like that. As soon as he has Stim and everything backs up, he utilizes the Marauders and Marines he has.
Just pounces on that army.
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool. That stuff's important, too, you know? There's multiple uses for that little group of units. Make him remake some of them. Very nice. Just pull back with the Marauders and Marines, can just heal those up as the medvacs come out.
Several Lings and Ravagers are being made right now. He might be trying to get ready and fight an army in the middle of the map that would be coming as a counter push here from INnoVation. And he's actually going to go around. This has been a kind of a theme of today. Is actually outmaneuvering your opponent's army and really trying to pick the fight you want to have. Okay, so his hand's been tipped there.
Oh boy. That's a fair amount of links coming up.
He's unsieging the tanks. Is there any spotter up here?
No,
I see none. Yeah.
There's not.
Well, he might as well just try to destroy as many SCVs as he possibly can.
Absolutely, and I think that is what he's going to do. He's trying to get a Roach up the ramp so he can bile the tank. Great blocking by INnoVation, but eventually he does get that up there.
Oh my God, it lives.
Not enough.
It lives.
Oh, man. Wow.
22 SCV kills, though.
Yeah, he definitely got a lot of SCVs there.
Well, that was a great play by soO. You know, INnoVation trying to come out after he killed that initial army. soO completely investing his resources in another army to try to counterattack there. This Liberator not doing much. I mean, you got to be active with what you have, but he's been able to shimmy his Spore Crawler over there and basically drive that out. So it's been 2 bases versus 3. And this is generally how ZVTs look, you know, with one player, you know, leading.
Yeah.
The Zerg leading in bases.
Kind of a funny early game this game so far, but
right.
I love the harassment going on here. Now, it's very, very nice. Just force him over and over to move.
In a change of pace, we have 2 Evo chambers coming down here, signaling that we want to start. The Zerg wants to start seeing upgrades come here. Oh man, is she gonna just go for this?
Oh, hits a couple biles there.
Yeah, got to be careful. In theory, you can always out micro the biles, but you know when there's this many things happening, it's tough. The Liberator finally goes down.
Wow, that Liberator actually did a lot of work over time.
Especially
very
at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, those 64 drones to 50. So after all those 22 SCVs were killed, INnoVation has still managed to macro up quite a bit. 4th base taken with still no 3rd, at least settled yet for INnoVation. INnoVation appears to want to try to do some serious damage with this push. We'll see if that's the case. He spots it.
Yeah, 4 tanks. It is kind of scary. Spread those correctly, put them in the right place.
But there's a lot of creep. A lot of creep he'd have to push his way through in order to get here. The biles are going to be used just to zone for the time being. This is what I love about soO. This great little counterattack here. Just comes in and starts to kill those workers.
Absolutely. Look at this. Some of the biles actually landing all right, but he micro-spored here. Going to be able to take out these Ravagers. soO in some real trouble.
Yeah, soO seemed to be doing a great job until the actual punch back came here from INnoVation. He knew that there was not enough Ravagers here. The first Evo chamber goes down, denying the Arbor upgrade.
And let's not forget that INnoVation did already get his +1. You know, soO put a lot of eggs in the attack basket. And I guess if they didn't all hatch.
And now, I think this army is getting thinned out enough here for the Zerg. Yep, that's it. GG. INnoVation takes game 1.
Yeah, well played. soO trying to play an aggressive style here, but did not work.
The humans are winning today, Artosis.
That's good. That's a good thing.
We need that in our time.
I heard it's Terran patch and Terran maps, so I guess we'll see.
Although I will say, I thought soO did a great job. He just wasn't ready for that attack.
Oh, the one that finished him off there?
The final one.
Well, I think his attack to kill the SCVs, like, it had potential, but INnoVation blocked him from seeing high ground for so long that his tanks just rained fire down on the Zerg, like, literally.
It's a funny trade, because when you see somebody lose a lot of workers,
yeah,
that does mean, I mean, they were losing those workers so they didn't lose their army.
Yes.
So then, even though it looks devastating, most of the army, even the one tank on the high ground wasn't biled down, and then INnoVation repaired everything, regrouped his army, and pushed out. And you know, the thing about Terran armies is they have a lot of sustain.
Yes, they really do.
You get enough there, and they get a foothold, it's very hard to deny them.
Yeah, a critical mass of a Terran army is very, very important. Yeah. More important in many ways than the SCV account.
Okay, game 2 is ready. Let's go.
Game start. Afrika Freaks, soO.
By the way, shout out to Afrika for sponsoring some new players, Armani, soO, and Stats, making their team quite strong.
KaiZ Gaming, INnoVation.
Right.
What will we have here in game 2? It might actually look similar to game 1. I mean, we really saw the play styles unfold there. soO looking for, oh, hold on.
Gas pull first.
Well, soO going for a surprise.
It's not like a super fast one.
Yeah, but it's...
Maybe he's expecting, the way the Overlords are moving, make me think that maybe he thinks that this could have been a proxy.
Oh, so he's trying to hard counter that here?
Yeah, like if this was 2 proxy racks or 3 proxy racks, which, you know, is good for a Terran to mix in. It's just the way the Overlords are moving plus the build order put together, because it's not a hyper-aggressive pool. It's
they're fanning out. They're fanning out in the 2 directions to just comb through the land area of the map.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what he does with this. It might be a run around the Reaper type of game.
So yeah, in that last game, INnoVation, you know, mechanically, he's so good with his pushes. Just when we saw the attack come in, he identified the Ravager count was high enough and there wasn't very much else to tank for it. And when the Biles came out to try to zone him back, he just stimmed, went under the Biles. Like in front, I should say, the Biles landed behind his army. He gunned down the rest of the Ravagers and closed it out. By the way, there's a quick Roach Warren here.
Yeah, that is rather quick, isn't it?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So I think soO is going to do something aggressive pretty quickly here.
Yeah, it definitely
we have to see if
that way.
Terran can identify that that's coming. Terran is expanding and teching, getting the factory up.
Well, the Lings force the SCV back immediately, and now the Reaper has to stand on lookout, right?
Yeah. What the Terran player fears is if the Reaper were to come out across the map and Lings were to surprise kill the SCV. So this is setting up a great blind spot in what INnoVation knows about this game.
Yeah, and let's not forget the first game, soO went for hatch first and had 25 drones.
Yeah.
He's cut into the chase. He knows why that didn't work, Tasteless. He had way too many drones.
Oh,
now he has 19.
Here we go. As the Reaper moves out, the Lings come in. Is this going to pull the Reaper back at all?
I think you can keep going, yeah.
Okay, he knows now.
Very important scout right
he
there.
sees the Ravager egg.
Yeah.
And this is where the counter push has to come, and it has to come immediately. And Terran has to brace for impact. You have to be able to shake off this attack.
Yeah, I don't think this attack is actually going to do much. It looks like INnoVation is going to be more than ready.
And from here, with INnoVation slowed down, not having his base, the Zerg's going to try to drone up.
All right, here come the Ravagers. The Overlord coming for the spotting as well. Looks like he wants to make a Banshee. Of course, that is the hardest counter that there is.
So he's going to start chucking Biles up here. Just take out anything that you can get.
Yeah.
This, again, even though it's not going to kill the Terran, most likely, what it will do is it will force the Terran to start to play by the Zerg's rules.
Yeah.
It forces the Terran to adjust his builds, trying to get this reactor here.
I mean, he supply blocks him. He's killed a couple depots, forcing some repair. You know, there are some worthwhile things that are occurring from here. But as the Banshee pops out, this is going to be over.
Okay, taking out the reactor. Now it's time to leave. And yeah, the Banshee, I mean, technically a Bile can hit air, but even a novice at the game can move a Banshee around Biles. So
you could never see anyone lose a Banshee to Biles.
Yeah,
They have to not be looking.
And Ravagers are a pretty heavy investment. Whenever you see a Ravager taken out, it's a pretty big deal for the Zerg.
Especially when you made him on 19 supply. Or 19 drones.
I like that extractor that he made so he wouldn't lose his drone, but then he forgot to cancel it, so now there's just an extractor.
He's busy microing at home.
That'll play out nicely when he gets his 4th base and he just gas right away.
Yeah.
He meant to do that.
He's totally ready to mine. Really good usage.
Yeah.
All right, 3rd Command Center is coming up from INnoVation.
Here.
Looking pretty good for INnoVation. He really didn't take any damage there. Now, is soO going to get cheeky and do some sort of attack again, or is he going to try to macro up from here? That's the big
curious because he might have a really good follow-up. I think he knew that wasn't going to...
I think he's going to Nidus.
Okay. As the Terran tries to readjust. We see Banshees have been made, which is actually a very normal response to this. Because it causes the Zerg to really respect what the Terran's doing and actually get a real answer to the Banshee. But I think you might be right, man. I think a Nidus Worm would be really smart.
Well, he hasn't made it, so maybe not. I saw him just make a couple roaches. The thing is, this looks really bad for him. And the fact that he's making a few roaches here... Okay, he's back to droning. Couple evolution chambers, so...
Especially with the Evos, it doesn't look like we're going to have...
It feels like even his timing for like the maxed roach push, you know, the one that people do to 3rd bases?
Sure, yeah.
Feels like that doesn't even exist now. Like, I don't know, it feels to me looking at this like all of his windows of opportunity are going away.
Yeah, well, it seems like INnoVation is just stabilizing fine. He's experienced this enough. His 1-1 upgrades are already ahead of the Zergs too.
Well, with the Baneling Nest coming up and melee attack and Carapace coming up, seems like it might just be like a Ravager Ling Bane. Obviously, years ago, a very, very popular way to play this matchup. Nowadays, I mean, occasionally you'll see it, but certainly not as popular as it once was.
And now, that early extractor fourth hatch timing, or fourth base timing is going to come into play.
Now, where's he going to take his fifth so he can get an extractor over there as well?
Yeah, well, he'll make 2 extractors there ahead of time, and then he'll...
He's really ready.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, soO actually doesn't need as much gas as other Zergs.
Yeah, well, he's usually making roaches and lings and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, Baneling speed on the way. It's only at 65 workers. Infestation pit coming up. Oh! I wonder if he's going to go into Ultras from here. I think he is. Pretty sure. That was
just banks up enough.
Yeah. That was kind of the natural follow-up to Ravager Ling Bane, was to go into Ultras back in the day. And I feel like something like that could be reasonable. You just try to clear up a couple Maru pushes. Because, I mean, INnoVation pushes, sorry. When INnoVation pushes out, like, are you going to live through that first push? I feel like that's a very big question. Right, because he's going to have 2-2 exactly when he pushes out. He's going to have a very healthy number of siege tanks as well.
Okay, it's definitely too much to try to fight over there. INnoVation's going to scoop this up and then come in over there. And the Banshees, this actually would be great if he could start to isolate drones just as they're getting transferred there.
Would be nice. A couple medevacs going towards that main base right now. Harassing with the Banshees as well. Really doing his best to get a little bit more damage eked in.
Okay, he unloads over here in the main.
All right, soO may be a little bit slow at trying to surround this, but does get on top of it, forces it up.
Back at home, INnoVation is continuing to mount a pretty scary army. And, you know, INnoVation shines best when his actual pushes start. We've seen, I mean, this is all very normal, the 2 medevacs, especially if there's no real anti-air besides Queens. Sending medevacs out, dropping them, killing creep, and then pulling away. And a lot of times it doesn't seem like it does much, but really it's so important to push the creep back. I mean, I think creep, honestly, out of all the things in the entire game, is one of the strongest things there is.
Oh, yeah.
Your entire army is faster, and in RTS, if your army's faster on creep, it's just better.
Yeah.
Speed upgrades for almost anything are some of the best upgrades in any RTS game.
Speed and range upgrades are the absolute best upgrades in RTS.
So he pushes through the bottom here. This is the second group of medevacs. It looks like he might have enough. Okay, he picks up again. But not just that it gives you speed and everything else there, it also gives you vision.
Yeah, that's a huge part
vision
of it.
in RTS, I mean, the whole thing about RTS is it's a game of incomplete information.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just seeing when they're
the
coming.
more complete you can make your information, the more powerful you're going to be.
Right, that's why the first cheats in RTS games were map hacks.
That's true.
You could just see the whole game, and then you could figure out what to do by watching them.
So the Ultras Caverns on the way. Both of them have as many workers as they want. Yeah, we have the couple of Vipers out for soO. The only spellcaster he ever really makes, but a lot of times it's just attack moves into Vikings. I love soO. He's like absolutely one of my favorite Zergs.
soO's been doing a decent job just hanging on here.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to just make sure he doesn't take too much damage.
Yeah.
Because this is like the weird little sword fight that they're having before they go to war, you know? This is just the back and forth where they know that the game is, like, only little edges are being traded here. This is the real push, right here. 2-2 finished up, INnoVation's moving out.
Before this, it was like 2 old World War fighter planes fighting above.
Yeah, and now the armies are going towards each other. All right, let's see what type of engagement. There's a lot of tanks there. He actually gets a reasonable Baneling hit.
Okay, the infantry has been pulled to the side here as the tanks fall like dominoes.
Wow. All right, well, he just kind of cleans it up.
Yeah, soO just smashed that easily.
Now, INnoVation's not dead. He's got a huge amount of production, a huge economy right now. He saved all of his medevacs. Yes, he lost the siege tanks, but he got drilling claws, so we don't know that he even really wants to stay on siege tanks as much now anyways.
By the way, soO does need to get his 5th base up here. We saw the drone was picked off before that. There was the hatchery that was destroyed before it finished.
And there's those Vipers being really useful, throwing down the parasitic bombs. That is a great way to whittle down the medevac count over time. It's very annoying for Terran to try to repair those after each time that occurs.
Amidst all the chaos in this game, soO's, instead of taking the top, fifth base. He ended up going down to the bottom. Not a creep-rich location, but it may end up being ignored over here by INnoVation.
Ooh, a couple good Baneling connections right there as well. So definitely some damage going down on INnoVation's army. Keeping a gigantic medevac count. He's going 10 plus the whole time. But yeah, I wonder what he wants to go into to help deal with the Ultras, because as the Ultras start to get fielded, he's not going to be able to engage on creep at all.
Yeah.
Lingbane Ultra with some Ravagers in there. Marine Marauder is just not going to stand up to that.
Okay, this is a big catch here. The Army's going to try to come down and deny this from being killed. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there in time. That's pretty low. Great play, and that's not canceled. That was a kill on the hatchery.
Nice, nice.
And even though we've seen soO fight back pretty well, seeing these hatcheries on the exterior of the map just get poked out over and over and over, it's really hard to fight.
Yeah. The Viper's still hunting medevacs right now. INnoVation just continuing to poke everywhere. The anti-air is so small. I don't know if he's put down a Spire yet. That's something that you really have to remember to do. It's kind of a funny thing that top Zergs sometimes forget. Dark is someone that comes to mind about that, but okay, he does have it. He does have it because Corruptors are finally making. When you do go Ultras, eventually you do need to get a few Corruptors to stop this type of move from happening to you over and over.
Meanwhile, a push down here from the bottom. Oh my God, he's gonna get this hatchery again.
Yeah, INnoVation
again, not
really
canceled.
Well.
You know, INnoVation, if he wins this game, it's gonna come down to the fact that there's just not been a fifth base set up here.
All right, looks like with these Corruptors out, the harassment's gonna be slowed down a little bit, but INnoVation has this big push coming into the third base of soO.
Yeah, this is where he might try to knock him over, but with this many Ultras and Banes, it might be too difficult to do so.
Yeah, some nice mine hits overall, but with the Ultras here, it's obviously very easy to push that entire army back. But another drop goes down into the natural. Not that much damage though, really.
But this damage is really starting to add up. I mean, even if each attack is held off here by soO, how much infrastructure damage is he also absorbing at the same time?
Yeah, it's a good point. When
we
you
really
look at how many bases INnoVation has, he can continually do this kind of.
We haven't had an attack on INnoVation's side of the map since that first attack with the Ravagers.
Yeah.
The rest of the game has been soO fighting to defend his own turf.
That should continue for a little bit here as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind to see a few Banelings put off to the side to try to snipe some SCVs or something like that. But when you're on this Ultralisk-based composition, I feel like you have to kind of take control and make it so that they are not really able to attack. When you go into a planetary like this, like, yeah, maybe he kills this, but he'll lose a lot at the same time. Hey, that actually dealt with that really well.
Yeah, nice.
I was holding my breath right there. It's like, are any of those going to get under?
I was just watching.
Yeah.
Another attack comes up here. He picks up, darting towards the top. He's just pulling the army like a vacuum, sucking the army back further and further towards soO's main as INnoVation just continues to grow and develop on the map.
He's just diving in. Looks like he loses some of the medevacs here and will continue to. Obviously, nothing here is making it out alive.
No, but he's just doing so much damage.
He's trying to. Another big army
again.
coming up. Oh my God, he's just everywhere. INnoVation just won't stop.
Yeah, this is right as drones are being transferred here. He denies this again. Now, with all that said and done, there's a lot of Ultralisks that have been incorporated into the army. That number is pretty high. And one thing you're not going to see over time in these fights is Ultralisks picked off. So there's a chance of a big Ultralisk battering ram coming across the map and doing a lot of damage. And that's when we may have identified that INnoVation actually overextended here.
Well, this is kind of the funny thing because, yeah, even if he overextends, killing your opponent with Ultras is oftentimes the worst idea any Zerg ever had.
Yeah.
Because Ultras are the worst unit to kill your opponent with in the entire game. It'd probably be more effective to send drones over. Like, you cannot get up this ramp, for instance. Like, everything will just get picked off. Once you start getting bottlenecked by buildings and planetaries around and stuff gets in the way, they're too clunky. They don't do anything.
They can't run away either. Like, if the Ultras start to run, stim anything will gun it down. But he does come in here and breach this. The Corruptors are slowly eliminating all of the medevacs.
Yeah, but these are like no attack upgrade Ravager Roach, right? So there's these Ultras that can't get through anything. See how they're just getting stuck on buildings? This is why it's very tough to attack with Ultras. So soO obviously has a much bigger, better army right now, but INnoVation is kind of staying alive because the Ultras can't even do anything for most of the fight.
Yeah, INnoVation is slowly squeaking out enough. It seems like the attack is getting pushed a little bit further and further back here. Here's what we're talking about. Ultra's not very good at running. Ravagers as well. I mean, Ravager Ultra is not a very strong unit composition with these two units together.
You know, well, I think it's strong defensively. It's when you start attacking like this.
Yes,
where
okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, like soO is kind of doing it, but yeah, you can see how INnoVation over time is whittling this army down still.
The supplies have plummeted so heavily in this game, though. It's crazy.
For both
right now,
sides.
Xerxes has 20 Lings being made, and 6 Marines and a Medevac and a Widow Mine being pumped out.
Yeah, I'm liking this a little bit for INnoVation. Like,
yeah, same.
You can't attack with Ultras, truly. It's just, I mean, that outlined it so well. Terrans know how to place their buildings down to make it very difficult, and the Ultras just kind of all sat there while +0 attack Ravagers were trying to deal all the damage, and then Lings are coming in and getting hit by mines, and INnoVation's running behind buildings with his ranged units, you know.
Yeah.
Just picking things off, whittling things down.
And just watching all those Ultras, that was the big investment of the game. The Ravagers, the Ultras. I mean, he's lost that. Now we have some Banelings, some Lings.
All of his long-term units are gone.
Yeah, now it's back to basically like early game units here. And these are heavily upgraded infantry units.
Yeah, and I mean, Ling Bane, you can kind of fight against it, but, you know, with these mines being mixed in, we're seeing INnoVation gain value in a lot of these battles.
That's right, but it's become a scrappy game, for sure. We're long past 2 players leading this up to a really nice, clean build-up, right? It's become an all-out brawl. The supplies are lower, and we have to watch how each skirmish goes from here on out. If let's say INnoVation loses a whole bunch of medevacs with units in it, that could be the moment that the game goes in soO's favor.
Yeah, it is definitely possible for it to still switch around, but I think when soO's just scouted that top right planetary, that's the part where you start shaking your head. Because that is going to be worth so much money. You know, INnoVation's economy looks much better than soO's. Much better.
Okay, with the planetary here, it's very, very difficult to take this out. Let's see, okay, what does INnoVation have as far as bases? It's got this one.
Top
well,
right
that's
is
almost
the important one, and then
this one down here too.
Yeah, they're like pretty well defended. Just having planetaries there right now in this low income situation, you're not really worried about him running, you know, a bunch of Banelings in. If this was some giant game, there's a possibility he loses those. But in this type of game, no, man, those things are safe.
I love this attack up here at the top. This has been soO's white whale. It's this base over here. Again, it's been denied. I've actually lost count of how many times. GG.
Oh, that was a cool game.
Out.
That was a very cool game. I think soO fought from behind and did a very good job, and then the multitasking of INnoVation got a little bit out of control before the Corruptors came out to slow it down. And then soO did the cardinal sin of Zerg, which is attacking your opponent's base with Ultralisks.
Yeah, he held up every attack, and I think he decided now's my moment. He probably should have used those Ultras, those Ravagers, to try to secure those 2 bases that he was trying to get the whole time. And in some ways, because INnoVation had his bases for longer, he would start to dry out more quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can dry out pretty quickly with meals dropping and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the kill move of soO, I think he felt like, wow, my army's so much bigger, my army's so much better right now.
Right.
Which is true, but only in the right terrain. Yeah. No matter how many, no matter how much cavalry you have, you don't attack boats. You know what I mean? That's what he did. He sent all his horses into the ocean because he had like 1 million horses against 1 boat, but the boat won, obviously.
His elephants too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
We're going to go now to Eternal Empire for map 3. Let's see if soO can turn this around or if INnoVation closes us out 3-0.
Game start. A freak of freaks, soO. KaiZ Gaming, INnoVation.
Sick.
Did you see that?
Click, 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 click. Look at my APM. Click,
my
click,
boxes make me go faster later. Settle down. That's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
You're spamming out your boxes.
I never understood the box spammers.
You don't box spam?
Hell no. I rally point spam.
I box spam.
Yeah? And then that happens to you sometime. And
Not
you
one-
and INnoVation are both
Not
clowns.
once. You know, I'm just as bad as INnoVation. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two are probably best friends, man, with your box spam and your SCVs and probes going every which way. Meanwhile, my rally gets set 450 times a minute.
You want to know why you don't box spam?
Because I don't want that to happen.
Because you played Terran in StarCraft 1, and S for SCV and S for stop are on the same key, so when you would box spam, you could accidentally stop all your workers.
That is true. That could happen.
Can't happen with Protoss.
Gotcha.
Another thing they have, said Artosis.
Another reason that they're
Another
so
reason
easy.
to hate them.
Another reason they're easy.
There you
my
go,
friend.
Artosis. Answering your questions and giving you more of a reason to hate Protoss.
I don't need any more tasteless.
So, I'm a little bit worried for soO here. I thought he did a decent job in the last game, but his strategy that he went for early on went how that strategy usually went in Game 2, and then INnoVation just got ahead and was playing better. He made it look like it was an obsolete approach to the matchup,
Yeah.
at least with those two playing.
Now, soO's already up to 20 drones. Oh, he's getting the speed upgrade instead of a roach horn? Oh, maybe we'll see a normal game here. Maybe it's time for him to turn on the normal games.
Yeah. It's time to take this game and crank it up to normal.
Yeah. Dial it back in.
Crank it up to normal and tear off the knob.
All right, 2 red lanes. Everything is normal. And here we wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. I hope we don't have another 3-0, man. This is not the way I had envisioned the day. 2 3-0s.
Yeah, that would be really weird. Maybe this is going to be just like the last day that we had, where the second series starts 2-0 and then it becomes a 3-2, and it's epic. Could that be tasteless? soO wins 2 macro games here and then cheeses again in Game 5 and loses?
Sure.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that just be perfect?
He earns his way back to evening it out and then throws it all away with a
Yeah.
cheese.
With another early roach horn?
Yeah.
Hey,
The
look at
devil on his shoulder tempted him too much.
Yeah.
Remember MVP versus Squirtle?
It's just dark with horns. So he's getting Overlord speed. It seems like a very macro-esque build. Liberator coming out, some Hellions being made. Pretty normal stuff.
I like that little depot Hellion wall there.
Yeah, it's nice. If you wall that off, you know, you can take your third base, and they either have to like bust depots and go up a hill to attack you, or they attack everything through one little canal on this map. So yeah, I kind of like that type of play.
So soO's scouting Overlord's going to come through, get an idea of what kind of game INnoVation's going to bring. Thing about INnoVation, though, and you know, people have been critical of him for it, but you usually kind of know what game he wants to play.
Yeah,
You know,
he knows what he's better than you at.
Yeah, he's a player that wants to just macro and have armies fight.
Yeah. So
He is
he's-
among the ilk of StarCraft players that would say that the other players are playing the game wrong. A very Terran thing to say. He embodies the
Wow.
game in a certain way.
You seem a little bit biased there, you cheesy Protoss.
And it is, yes.
Who plays the game the wrong way, by the way.
Oh! Okay, drives the Liberator away. Actually, Liberator taking a lot of damage. Probably won't be able to
Yeah.
come back in for a while. That's a pretty big victory.
Yeah,
About
that's
as big as you can have for a game that's going to be pretty static, at least for now.
eBays and Evo Chambers are pretty well lined up. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a nice big game. I'm excited.
Yeah, the third CC is finished
Dude,
where the Wallen is.
yeah.
Once he has an army mustered up enough where he can actually take that third base, he'll go out. But for now, it's going to be Hellions and Reapers trying to kill creep.
It's going to be a lot more exciting seeing soO play from a non-disadvantaged position, right? Because
well, sometimes, I mean, it's not just true for soO, but it's true in general when you have players that play like soO, is they try an attack early on, and if it doesn't work, they are just behind, and you're watching them struggle, where maybe if they played a more conservative game, it would be different, but...
Well, especially when you're soO. Like, he even bashed the first attack, the 2-2 timing from INnoVation at 185 supply. Like, that was
pretty crazy.
Was very well done, and then he, you know, was still fine later on. So, Lingbane Hydra going to be the name of the game here from soO. And his second Evo hasn't started, which makes me think he might go ranged attack, or he messed up. It's definitely one or the other.
So he's going to maybe go for some kind of a bust here?
No, I guess he's not going to go ranged. Like, he would have started. So, there's definitely a mistake here that he hasn't started the +1 carapace, because carapace is more important than melee attack by far. So that's quite a misclick there from soO. Quite a misclick.
It's not good if you're a soO fan, man.
No, not so much. Ooh, look at that.
Well, this
Found
is
the
something.
one dark corner.
Yeah. Comes in now. We'll take out a couple of these SCVs.
Yeah,
this is
really
wow.
nice.
There's a lot of Terran army moving out on the map. You can see he's setting up for an attack. Now those 8-lings are going to kill a decent amount of SCVs. Oh, he spots this, though, and he sieges up, so he's committed to this area.
Oh, Bailing Speed finishes just after the battle starts. He gets rid of the tanks and backs up, and I think that's good enough for now.
He'll need to get some more Bailings for now. When he gets the Hydras out with the Bailings, that's when you can chew through these big armies.
Yeah, INnoVation trying to push with his 1-1 upgrades. I'm going to be very interested now because he scans, he sees the Hydras. We should see a second factory drop down for INnoVation now.
Like you need that splash damage to hit those Hydras if you're trying to push forward.
You generally want to hit a big 2-2 plus siege tank timing attack against this style of play. We'll see if that's what INnoVation goes for, but that was the way everyone was playing when this was the normal strategy.
Got to be careful off creep, though. Hydras are pretty bad at attacking or retreating when they're off that creep.
Yeah. They are awfully good at helping clean things up with the Lingbane strategy.
I think he still has that same blind spot in his main, by the way. We see another drop coming through here.
I think you're right, actually. And there's the second factory going down just after the 4th command. This is going to allow him to make enough siege tanks to feel like he can actually push through an army like this.
Yeah.
But soO is already on his way towards Hive. The infestation pit's about to finish, so that's exactly what we need to see out of him.
And when we see this tank army come out here, we need to see how the engages go as the tanks are sieging up. If the tanks are already sieged up and the Zerg attacks, then Zerg is most likely going to lose.
Yeah.
Especially with control like INnoVation's.
Well, I'm kind of excited here as well right now. Is he going to throw down a Spire in a second? He just started the Hive. I feel like with the Lingbane Hydra, there are possibilities to go into Broodlords still, even though it's not as powerful as it once was. But since he's not doing that, it seems like he'll probably go into some Vipers and maybe Ultras as his late game tech.
Okay, he's going to try to attack in here again. We want to watch and see if the Hydras can ever snipe the Medivacs. It's one of the reasons why we never see the Medivacs boost into the fight. Yeah. They need to boost out.
It's much harder to harass when you're playing against Lingbane Hydra.
Yeah, well, you have to slow fly in. And I mean, usually everything's automatically connected by creep at that point of the game, so.
You know, in the previous game, as we saw, when it's like a Ravager Lingbane, the Medivacs just won't ever die. You always get them out. Here, it's like, oh, stay on the fringes a bit more. Can't dive in so much. All right, so INnoVation taking his 4th base. His upgrades are really on point.
I mean, production's gotten pretty crazy over here for INnoVation.
You can see this, that he's, again, as 2-2's finishing, right around that 185 supply. Obviously, if you don't do any harassment, you'll be maxed out right there. Now, is he going to push? It's 6 siege tanks right now. It's not as many siege tanks as I feel like I'd like to see for this push, but I feel like you're not going to get a better time than 2-2 finishing up before they have their high tech.
I think you have to make do with what you have at this moment. So he's going to siege up over here onto the high ground. Oh, hold on. Wait, too many fights to follow here. All right, back to the main one. He's going to push up over here. You can see he's debating which angle to take.
Yeah, it's hard. Going on creep with this type of army, like, soO will be able to hold.
And by the way, there's going to be so many Banelings for this attack up here.
How many Banelings?
This is really so many. Italicized, by the way. It's going to be up to the Banelings to crash in and destroy the army before the Terran, which has more Sistole. I don't know if that shows up on our stream, but we just had a huge lag hiccup.
Yeah, I think it did.
In production, or in our screen.
Look at this, a lot of the creep being taken out right now. INnoVation gonna pull back off of it, knows that even though you killed that creep, it's not dissipated yet.
And right now the Zerg wants to buy time. And Terran, by the way, is not committing. Terran's a little bit unsure about this engage
he's being
as well.
very careful, which I think is completely the right play. Again, if you walk on creep, this army will kill you.
Yeah,
Zerg's defensive capability on creep is just so massive. Doesn't matter how good your macro is, soO's is good enough to kill you on creep. All right, so as the creep is starting to get away a little bit, he comes up, but I don't think that this is going to work for INnoVation.
God. So much damage dealt down here, and the Hydras can completely clean up the tanks. A minuscule amount of infantry is retreating.
Yeah, that was pretty good for soO, and he's sitting here on 85 drones very comfortably. He's got a lot of mining bases, taking another at the moment as well.
It's going to be a long time to ever get that many tanks again.
Well, the thing is, tanks don't really scale all that well in this situation anyways because of Vipers, right?
Right.
So when you have that clumped group of siege tanks, if the Viper throws out a blinding cloud, your army might be ruined during that. So I actually wonder, okay, he is still producing tanks. They aren't useless by any means, but it's very hard to actually zone those Vipers out from really ruining your army.
I think you might be right. It's going to be hard for him to push, but the tanks might at least allow him to hold his own against the counterattacks here from the Zerg.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested what he's going to do tech-wise other than what he's doing right now, because I feel like he does need to add something to it. I don't see him winning this game with Marine Marauder Siege Tank. soO's in a much better position than what we saw previously.
Let's see how soO handles this, because we're starting to see the beginnings of this game look like Game 2, right? Ultralisks are out. Yeah. There's a few exterior bases that soO's trying to get. We saw a failed counterattack there by soO as well. Mm-hmm. Even though INnoVation's pushes have lost some steam, it's still possible that by just flying around and poking out these extra bases, that can allow INnoVation to maybe come back into a solid position.
Well, soO might be a attack moving with like F2 a little bit much or something here. I feel like if you just leave a couple Hydras towards the left side, you're going to be able to punish this type of drop a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need your entire army together right now. Well, let's see. INnoVation going to go ahead and just carpet bomb the natural right now. A lot of Marine Marauder coming out.
This is a lot of drones you can kill off here, and somehow this Marauder is still in the game. What? Stimming away from hatches. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's like, oh, run away! It's a naked hatchery. All right, so definitely doing some damage here to soO, picking off bases. Starting to pick off a little bit of creep too. He has just so many Marauders right now.
Not a lot of other places for Terran to expand to, by the way.
I would love to see missile attacks, by the way. He still has enough Hydras out, and obviously there's a bunch of Queens all over the place. I feel like missile attacks could be really helpful against +3, right?
Yeah.
Like, Marauders don't do as well like against Hydras, let's say, right? So, I don't know. It's such a cheap upgrade. 100. Do it, soO.
Well, this is the moment now where INnoVation is going to start to really, I think, try to take another big fight. He has all these tanks. He has a lot of Marauders, which really mute the efficiency of the Banelings there.
You know, this is a really funny thing, by the way. There's only one Viper out. So 9 siege tanks. You can't deal with 9 siege tanks with one Viper.
Okay, now this is a really nice spread here by the Terran, but is there just too much muscle here for the Zerg? Oh, so many tanks on that high ground.
No, you need more Vipers than this to deal with that. See, this is where soO's style can get him.
Yeah.
I said he doesn't use spellcasters, and I'm almost completely correct on saying that, because you can see, like, he generally doesn't make more than 2 Vipers. He only has 1 here, and it's like 9 siege tanks. Your army does not counter 9 siege tanks on a high ground where there's no creep.
And now that he's poked out that base, the only fresh expansion is actually the one that's not being mined from in the center right. At 3 o'clock?
Yeah, that's true. And you know what just happened there? He like loses that. There's all these siege tanks. You know what he does? He doesn't start more Vipers. He starts plus on missiles. It's like, okay, no, I did want to see that too, but like, come on now. You have to deal with 11 tanks now.
By the way, he's been very late on canceling hatches in the series. I know there's a lot going on here. And by the way, this angle, good job on the tanks, muting them for a second, but I mean, is this actually going to be worthwhile? It seems like these Marauders can kill the Ultralisks, and then it's just Hydras running into tanks.
Yeah, it was too many tanks. I swear to God, if you have 2 more Vipers there for 2 more Blinding Clouds, you are going to have such a better fight, but instead
I think
he lost everything.
And just get a lot of Lings to try to run over those Marauders, and you're going to be okay. Instead, it's 3 Ultras fighting something like 12 Marauders.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Marauders are much more expendable than an Ultralisk is.
Yes.
The Ultralisk is the big gas
They deal so
investment.
much damage to Ultras.
Whenever you see Zerg players hemorrhaging Ultralisk, especially in attacks, you know you're in trouble.
Well, soO does have a lot of Lings out right now, so that's definitely a good thing. He's making a lot of Ling Bane. That's mostly what he's spending his money on right now. Obviously, if the Lings can get on top of the siege tanks, you're going to be all right. But there's a lot of siege tanks, and it's a long walk to the back of those, which of course the Lings make very quickly. Look at that. All right, clears the siege tanks.
Is this too little too late, though?
That's a good question.
Seems like, you know, the Terran can
well,
INnoVation's medevacs are so low. The Terran can regroup and just push out with these the bare bones units here.
This is a good move. He needed something like this because INnoVation's economy is getting a little bit out of hand. Now, luckily for INnoVation, he does have another command right there. Going to float this over. Has to get a little bit of defense down there, though, obviously.
Okay, so as that that planetary was popped, INnoVation's now on the furthest. Oh, I love this. INnoVation's right now on the furthest expansions that he can realistically control.
Yeah.
For this game, this might be the moment for soO to try to seesaw the game back into his favor. Straight units just out like that, I don't think you could afford to do that anymore.
Yeah, the game is tightening up economy-wise a little bit.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that after he killed the 9 siege tanks, he did start 2 more Vipers. So just in case those siege tanks keep coming, he's going to do a much better job next time with it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see when he starts these things.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely got a way of approaching the game, and he certainly defaults to that until things start to get dire enough. You know?
Yeah. He's like, okay, we'll go 3 spellcasters it is. Or wait, I guess he lost one of them, so.
Oh, good job preempting his drop. We're not going to see drones killed off over here.
Good spread now. INnoVation getting into a little bit of a defensive posture at the moment.
I might be wrong, but it seems like the 2 6 o'clock bases might be a little bit vulnerable, though.
Well, it looks like soO is actually going to go after this one at 9 o'clock. He has enough Banelings that...
Wow.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, that's
That was so many kills.
Got quite a few Lings there, didn't he? But, you know, with these Vipers, they're high energy. Like, you know, you throw down 4 Blinding Clouds, you're going to be able to break areas you didn't think you could.
Yeah, but again, we have another moment here where Zerg's going to attack and lose those Ultras and Lings.
And a lot of Banelings connecting with Marauders there as well.
Yeah, even those Banelings connecting on the tank, which is not ideal. Popping another Ultra.
Yeah, soO's economy is not infinite right now, so...
Yeah, where is soO really mining from right now?
Well, this base right here, and then 12 o'clock still has reasonable mineral coverage, and that's everything else is pretty low.
Yeah, there is a Zerg base being taken in the far upper left corner, but I think there's just a chance that something's going to roam through there and kill that.
Yeah, it's possible, but if soO keeps pressure on, I guess that might be the best way to try to.
INnoVation with INnoVation with a positional advantage is actually taking all of the bottom right as well. And this is almost a force Zerg to take a fight somewhere. If Zerg is too calm here and doesn't fight back, Terran just has the whole map.
Yeah, and this right here, the Banelings have been so brutally cost inefficient.
Yes.
They're hitting Marauders. They're like every time a siege tank fires, these are +3 siege tanks. They are splattering the Banelings. I feel like he needs to give up his dreams of this base and go over here.
And in some strange way, it almost looks like Terran's itching to push this base that we're looking at right here.
He's trying to force an engagement.
And positionally, he's actually able to defend all of the bottom right as he's doing this.
Yes.
Because the Zerg's attention is really devoted over here, so it's a really great play. And he gets it.
But soO has figured this out. He did send an army over to the planetary at 9. And this is exactly the type of move that he needed.
Yeah, but...
Absolutely the right move right there.
Okay, I think it's a good play, but I'll tell you what, I would prefer to be an INnoVation spot here, having all of the bottom right. You know, he's still soaking up way more minerals and gas here. I mean, just look at how much he's already gotten banked here.
Yeah, you're certainly right. But soO needed to do something. He did something there, and now he needs to do something else. And it's getting tough because INnoVation is pushing forward. He's rallying in very well. But soO going to try with the counterattack.
Killing more and more drones as they try to retreat here. He's going for the high-value units, knowing that the gases are most likely depleted all over the map. He pops out yet another Ultra. And again, as you were saying, Artosis, every Baneling we see killed off here is huge. Eventually, Zerg will only be able to make links.
Yeah, he's got to get that economy rolling again. He's got no gas. He's
Yeah,
barely got minerals. Really, both of them are in the same boat.
Well, no, I think that Terran right now actually is getting a lot of gas with these extra bases down here, like this one in the bottom right.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to mine
Well, they don't
quite
even
a bit.
need that much gas, to be honest, Terran players.
But might as well soak that up so that
Yeah,
Zerg,
yeah.
if he takes it back later, can't even get it, man.
Totes.
So
122 lings right now.
this is
Quite a
really interesting. The Terran's taken real control of the bottom right, but the Zerg has...
I want to see soO punch in towards the main again. Like, he already broke through the depot wall.
Yeah.
He already got rid of one of the factories there, and he's taking the whole left side of the map. So use the same type of tactic, the same type of strategy that INnoVation was.
I think you're right. I think
Attack the bottom left, and that defends the top left.
I think now would be a good time to start using Nidases to hit the main.
That would be a very high-level move.
He uses that, and then suddenly the bottom
One
right
Nidus
is
in the main
vulnerable.
base with just a smallish group of lings, like 20, 30 lings popping out.
Yeah.
My God, that would really be annoying to deal with.
Especially when Terran's maxed out, you have to actually move back there with your army.
Yes,
You don't just wait for whatever's popped out of the barracks to fight it.
I love the idea. Where do you find the time? Where do you find the gas to do that right now? I guess that's part of the problem here for soO. But he is starting to get his economy really back online with those top left bases. Now, these engagements that are more ling heavy definitely are doing better for soO than what we saw before with the Banes. But look at that, INnoVation making another command center just right in your face with the macro.
Yeah, INnoVation right now is saying that he can actually gobble up more of the map here.
This is an excellent game.
Yeah.
What a
It's
wonderful
good to finally
game.
be back, man.
Oh my
We
God.
missed you guys.
Good StarCraft 2 games are just so good.
Like, I don't know, Artosis. I was more of a fan of the Maru versus Stats games myself. To each his own, though, right?
Yeah.
This is great.
Look at that. Yeah,
Oh,
great micro.
beautiful.
Picks up at just the right moment here as well. Looks like he will deny this command center from
I
building.
love this, though. Unloads over here at the tank.
Yeah. It's a rich geyser.
There's
by the
some
way.
push coming over here at the upper left, by the way. And definitely you have to have a
Oh
planetary
yeah, look
there.
at that.
Oh,
No,
this
you
is
got
great.
to get over there as soO, and he should be able to pretty quickly. Yeah, he'll clean this up. No problem. Oh, wait a minute. There's another army behind that army. Maybe a problem.
Well, this is a lot of ultras. Blinding clouds go down, but this is where the kiting comes into play.
All right, nice parasitic bomb going down. Has to make sure that he keeps his mining intact here in the top left. More lings coming up to help clear this. Does get rid of that command center once again.
By the way, with all this fighting, the worker count's actually been almost the same.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
So as Terran's controlled more of the lower right, Zerg's controlled more of the upper left. And
Look at that. 880 lings lost.
So crazy, man.
That's like almost 1,000 lings staceless.
I mean, this game has been pretty epic. So, is INnoVation actually going to mine out first? I think he might. I think soO's been beaten up so bad here. Even though
You
I
think
don't
it'll come to that where there's just like
Dude, it
no
might.
minerals left?
It could. It
It's
definitely could.
possible. It's possible.
In games like
I feel
this,
like though we could see like
oh my God, very
oh
late
my
siege,
God,
very late
yeah.
siege on those tanks.
Those ultras are all up in his stuff, man. Look at that. Erases those tanks so quickly. Getting on top of these marauders as well. The splash damage from the ultras, so good. Some great blinding clouds coming down as well.
These marauders have stimmed so many times. They've one hit and they all die.
Oh my God, look at this. soO chasing him across the map. He does bring it up to a planetary. That planetary worth its weight in gold right now. INnoVation with a counterattack towards soO's main as well.
Takes out this base over here. Not that there was many resources there to mine from. He's going to start taking out the tech, and that actually, oddly enough, is maybe the most important tech to take out is the pool.
Yeah.
When you're almost completely mineral reliant, to take out that spawning pool is huge.
So
STV's
true.
being pulled. Can he get the Ultimus Cavern as well over here? I think he will. There's just not enough lings over
What
here.
are you even going to make? He can't even make units anymore. What's he going to make? Mutas at 0-0? I don't think so. Oh my god, trying to take out this planetary. The army coming up to flank, though, dealing huge damage. Picks off both the Ultras. There's no Ultras, there's no Ultraless Cavern, there's no Lings, there's no spawning pool.
He's going to have to be remaking that somewhere very soon here.
Dude, he can make Infestors and Queens right now, and Vipers.
This is such crazy play here by INnoVation.
Just started his
There
pool.
it is, okay. But this is a great window of time. Look at the minerals that soO is floating.
I know, he can't
It's
spend
crazy.
them. He's lost over
1,000.
Lings. Dude, INnoVation can just run around the map and kill everything right now. soO needed to remake that spawning pool minutes ago.
You know that scene in Blade where he killed all those vampires with a ninja star?
The thing that went around the room?
Went around the room? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
INnoVation's army is about to do that to all of soO's bases.
He might.
Yeah.
How many larvae does he have? Let's see what the production tab looks like in just 3,
2, 1,
0,
-1,
-2,
and 42 legs we made.
Anticlimactic. He actually doesn't have that many queens at this point. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, there's not much larva out, actually.
In fact, he has no queens left here. Yeah, in fact, he can't even make queens without the spawning pool. My God.
Oh, yeah.
He just, dude, crazy.
You know,
the
it's
counter-attack
so rare that you see
kills the spawning pool
Yeah.
at 25 minutes into the game is the most impactful thing.
Oh. Okay, so these are the two most important bases. By the way, the yin-yang effect on this game is very real. He's actually taking the center right again. But, you know, INnoVation just sweeping through here and taking out base after base
There's no
after
more mining
base.
for soO. He's got 20 minerals. He has to do it with this army.
There's so many Marauders in here. It's so insane.
Oh, wow. This game was absolute madness. And killing that spawning pool, really, that was like such a clutch key moment.
This was one of our best
He couldn't
games
defend
so
either of
far.
his bases, and now he has no money to make more units.
Yeah.
And that's that.
It gave INnoVation enough time to win with his attacks, and there was no easy way to trade in.
What
and
a
because of that,
superb game.
he was not able to mine He was not able to mine the resources necessary to make technical units that could then fight INnoVation's army. INnoVation, one of the best TVZs we've seen in a long time.
That was amazing. In 6 months at least. All right.
Yes.
No, that was just a great game.
All right,
from both sides. The spawning pool snipe. You see very few words between those two after that game.
Yeah.
That's a game that hurts. That hurts your whole body. You get a full body ache from that game.
Yeah, no, that's where if you're soO and you have a game like that, you probably need to lay down for a little bit. The heat you're going to have in your head, the anger. If you're watching your friend and your friend plays a game like soO did, after the game's done, do him a favor. Don't talk to him.
Don't talk to him.
Don't look at him.
Don't be like, oh, that was rough, man. Good play. Don't do that.
Yeah, and definitely don't say, hey, when he killed your spawning pool, why didn't you make another one immediately? Don't say that.
Don't say it's just a game.
Yeah.
That's a weak mindset.
Don't
Something,
say,
something
don't be
means
mad.
Something.
Yeah. We're going to a break, guys. When we come back, Deer versus Cure is coming up next.